All right, guys, let's go to Khan Academy, your favorite thing. Yes. Now, I wanted to go ahead and make this video and just work through this with you because I know some of you expressed some difficulties and headaches with Khan. So I'm going to work through this Khan Academy assignment with you. You should be at the trig values of special angles, and you should see your name in the top right hand corner when you click on the embedded link. If you do not see that, just go ahead and go navigate to khanacademy.org and it'll take you to your profile, and I'll just show you how that looks so you guys can see how that looks. But it's going to take you to your profile and it should look just like this, and you should see an assignments tab or a tab that says assignments to the right hand column or the left hand column. Just click on that, and then this is your assignment, trig values of special angles. So you would just hit start, and I'm going to hit go to lesson so we can open it up, and you just start your lesson. Okay, let's start. This says, hey, express the following trigonometric values. So I'm finding the cosine of 4 pi over 3 and the sine of 4 pi over 3. I'm going to remember that cosine is the x and sine is the y coordinate point. And then I'm going to just think about the reference angles. My reference angle is pi over 3. So I know that the cosine and the sine of 4 pi over 3 is going to be the same as pi over 3. So I know that pi over 3's cosine is 1/2, and its sine value is radical 3 over 2. Now I just got to think about what the sine is of that. 4 pi over 3 is the pi over 3 angle in quadrant 3. So I know that both cosine and sine are negative in quadrant 3. Tangent is the only thing that's positive. And check my answer. Yay! I'll go to the next one. Now this is in degrees. So I'm going to find the reference angle. And I just think about, hey, I'm in quadrant 2 if I'm at 150. It's in quadrant 2. And so that means the distance to the x-axis would be moving to 180. So I need to just think about how much would I add to 180 to get, or to 150 to get to 180, and that would be 30 degrees. So I know all I need to think about is what is the cosine and sine of 30 degrees, and that's going to be the same as 150. Well, 30 degrees is just pi over 6. So I need to think about what the x and y terminal point is for pi over 6 or 30 degrees. And we know that the cosine for pi over 6 is radical 3 over 2. And the sine for pi over 6 is 1/2. And now I just got to think about quadrant 2. The only thing that is positive in quadrant 2 is the sine values, which means my cosine would be negative. So I know I'm going to make this negative. There we go. And let's check our answer. Yay! You see how easy this is? If I know the reference angle, I only have to think about quadrant 1 and then just change the sign. Okay, so they say the cosine of 5 pi over 4 and the sine of 5 pi over 4. We know these are our pi over 4 angles. Pi over 4 sine and cosine, this is the easy one, is radical 2 over 2. They're exactly the same, right? Radical 2 over 2. Radical 2 over 2. And then I just got to think about where is 5 pi over 4 on the unit circle? What quadrant does 5 pi over 4 fall into? And I know 5 pi over 4 is in quadrant 3. So that means I got to think about what is positive in quadrant 3. And the only thing that's positive in quadrant 3 is tangent. So I know both of these values are going to be negative, right? Sine and cosine. Yay, one more to go. The cosine of 135 degrees and the sine of 135. We did this one before. We know this is the reference angle is 45, right? Because this 135 is in quadrant 2. Which means if I need to find the reference angle, I think about how much would I add to 35 to get to the x-axis, which would be 180. Well, that's 45 degrees, right? So I'm just thinking about what is the sine and cosine of this reference angle, or 45 degrees. 45 degrees is pi over 4, right? So we know that this is our easy angle. This is our radical 2 over 2. Right? Radical 2 over 2 for both of them. And then I just got to think about if I'm in quadrant 2, what's positive in quadrant 2? The only thing positive in quadrant 2 is sine. So that means that my cosine is negative. Yay! All right, guys, I want you to go ahead and I want you to complete the Khan Academy. This will be recorded as a quiz grade. I am looking to see nothing but 100%. All right, guys, good luck.